The Living Your Best Life Experiment, Week 23, Chapter 26, Doing versus Spewing, and Chapter 27, Beam Me Up, Scotty. This chapter starts talking about how the most earth-shattering statements, truisms, are usually the simplest. Take this book, how it ends on love yourself. And by itself, it's a very simple statement. But once you actually realize what it means to you and put it into action, it really has the ability to change your perception. Then it goes on to talk about how everything that you've thought about, done, want from this book, that you need to follow through, and that if you really want to be successful, you need to stop being afraid of being uncomfortable and really go for what you want and see it through to the end. And the next part talks about leveling up and how in life, when we're faced with obstacles and challenges, we have two choices. We can run and hide and avoid them, or we could face them head on and use them as a tool for growth. And the more comfortable you get with facing those, the easier it gets. And it talks about reminding yourself not to settle. A lot of times there will be opportunities presented that will be the easy way, the safe way, might make more sense. But if it doesn't align with your goals and your manifest, then in a way it's taking the easy way out. And you need to remind yourself that you can do what you want to do. And the next part talks about getting rid of bad habits and really looking at the areas of your life that you're not thrilled with. What are you not thrilled about it? What is the habit attached to it? And what can you replace that with? Replace your bad habits with good habits. And if you have to do it in small steps, do it in small steps, but keep moving forward with it. And eventually you'll get there. And then it talks about breathing. Your whole goal is to try to stay in the zone, and when things happen in life that will knock you out of it, say like you're stuck in traffic, you're dealing with a difficult person, things just seem hectic and chaotic and crazy, sometimes all you need to do to remove yourself from that situation or the feelings that that situation is causing is breathe. The next part talks about surrounding yourself with people who elevate you and finding those people who are living on purpose, because when you're around that energy, it ends up being contagious. When someone is living their best life, it makes you want to up your level to live your best life. And I think the big thing would be, where would you find these people? For myself, I find that I find people who make me feel elevated when I am doing things to live my own life on purpose. And keeping an open mind and remembering that someone who lives a big life isn't necessarily happy, and somebody who lives a small life isn't necessarily unhappy. Stepping back and taking a look at each individual person without the constraints that society puts in place for what is successful or what is living, and really taking a person at face value. I find a lot of times too, those people tend to just shine and stick out in a crowd, and you're drawn to them. And the next step talks about being honest and setting realistic goals. If you haven't ran in years and decide that you want to run a marathon, chances are you're not going to be able to do it right off the bat. But setting up those milestones where it's more obtainable, say I'm going to run a block today, 2 blocks tomorrow, is a more realistic way to help you get to your end goal. And then the next part is about reading your manifesto and really getting clear and detailed what it is that you really want, and becoming obsessed over it, basically. Putting out that energy that this is what you want and this is what you will get, and really believing in it. And then it talks about getting that help that you need. If you need help achieving your goals, there is nothing wrong with that. You know, if you have to hire someone, if you have to ask someone, even if you just need somebody to bounce ideas off of, find that help, get it, use it, and don't be ashamed of needing help. And then it talks about getting your body involved, and how a lot of the times when we're procrastinating or we're not working towards things we should, or we tend to beat ourselves up, and mentally we end up feeling lazy, fatigued, like it has a physical effect on you also. So getting up and moving and getting that blood flowing can help in a lot of areas. Then it talks about pulling out all the punches, using your secret weapons, and things that make you feel elevated and motivated. Things like listening to a favorite playlist that makes you feel invigorated, like you can run up the stairs in victory like Rocky, or surrounding yourself with pictures that motivate you of things that you want to see or do. Wear that jacket that makes you feel like a superhero. Do things that make you feel good, make you feel motivated, and don't give any worry to what anybody else thinks or says. This is about you and what makes sense for your life. And then the last chapter is a story about her grandma and how she's lived through some very big moments in history, and how having done that has given her a perspective of anything is possible. Seeing a man step on the moon, or the first TV, things like that would never be possible if it wasn't for people believing that anything is possible. So when you put in that perspective, it makes it easy to believe that, anything is possible. Nothing's off the table. And as always, it ends off with love yourself with Kung Fu grip, and you are badass. And that concludes this book. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I really did learn a few things. I think I will make one more video of all the sticky notes that I made during reading this. So until next time, I hope you have a good week. Bye.